What's going on, guys? This is Mikeinoid, and today we'll be talking about the Nintendo Switch Lite, which has now been on the market for 5 years. The Nintendo Switch itself has been on the market for over 7 years now, selling over 141 million units, making it easily Nintendo's best-selling home console and possibly on its way of becoming the best-selling gaming console of all time. During those 7 years, Nintendo has put out a few different variations of the hybrid system since its initial release. The $300 original model got an upgrade of better battery life. There's the Switch OLED model, not only having an OLED display, but improved sound quality, a reliable kickstand, more storage space, and even better battery life. And of course, there's the Nintendo Switch Lite. What was rumored to be the Switch Mini, the Switch Lite was revealed on July 10th of 2019 and would hit store shelves on September 20th and retail for about $200 US. What's interesting to note is that Nintendo has used the term Lite before. The Nintendo DS received a revision known as the DS Lite that not only made it more compact, but was given brighter displays. The term Lite referred to the DS being lighter, but now for the Switch Lite, the term means it's lighter on features. The reveal trailer would show that this is a smaller, lighter, more compact version of the current Switch out on the market, with the controls built into the system, and the directional buttons on the left Joy-Con would be replaced with a traditional Plus control pad. Of course, the big trade-off with the Switch Lite is that you are unable to dock the system and play games on the TV. It doesn't matter if you find a way to fit the Switch Lite in an original dock or buy a third-party dock, the system just doesn't have the capabilities to output signal to a TV. The IR sensor and HD rumble were also removed from the Switch Lite, but you are still able to connect Joy-Cons and Pro controllers if you need those features. The feel of the A, B, X, and Y buttons are slightly different on the Switch Lite than Joy-Cons. It feels softer to press, if that makes sense. The Switch Lite has slightly better battery life than the original Switch system, but not as good as the revised Switch and Switch OLED systems. But even as of today, this still manages to be one of the 3 pillars of the Switch. As of September 2024, there have been 10 unique Switch Lite systems that you can purchase. September 20th of 2019 was when you can purchase the first set of colors alongside a copy of the Game Boy remake, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Starting off with the yellow color, this was the first color shown to the world, and I think it's actually a great color. The one I have here is not in the best condition. I did purchase this secondhand for 70 bucks. It's not necessarily the worst condition, but you do see scratches on the screen, and the texture of the Switch itself has lost some of its original feel. It looks a lot more greasy. I don't use this one much, but if I do, then I usually go with Super Monkey Ball. It just makes sense. This is a banana yellow. The next color we have is gray. Not the most exciting color, but definitely the most neutral. I also bought this one used, but in much better condition. I actually use this one quite a bit. I'm currently playing Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challenger on this system. And with that D-pad, the controls are incredible. And finally, you have the turquoise color, which is my personal favorite standard color, and the Switch Lite I bought on day 1. This color reminds me of the original 3DS aqua blue color, which I got when that handheld first released. This is by far my most used Switch Lite, and I've taken this with me on a lot of trips and vacations. And it's still in great condition. See, I take care of my consoles. The next and first special edition Switch Lite was the Zacian and Zamazenta edition, of course representing Pokemon Sword and Shield. This Switch Lite released on November 8th of 2019, a week before the actual games came out. So this console was not bundled with the games. You got a light gray body with both boxed legendaries on the back, and then you have the left joystick and D-pad blue, and the right joystick and A, B, X, and Y buttons red. Wasn't quite sure about this color scheme when it was first revealed, but after I finally picked one up last year, I absolutely love it. Last thing I want to play on this is Sword and Shield, if I'm being honest, but something like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX looks great on this system. The next standard color that was released was Coral. Now this color was released to most of the world on April 3rd of 2020, but was released earlier in Japan on March 20th, the same day as Animal Crossing New Horizons. So this Switch Lite belongs to my girlfriend. We were able to find it, but during that time it was a bit hard to find due to the pandemic pandemic related issues, I think is a great color, and I can see why it was so popular when it was first released. We would then get the next standard color on May 21st of 2021. This Switch Lite would release on the same day as Miitopia, a game originally on the 3DS. Now the official name of this color is blue, but depending on who you ask, this is purple. Now under certain lighting, I do see this looking more like purple. It's not a traditional blue, but I would say it's more blue or indigo than a purple. This was another system I got secondhand that unfortunately wasn't in the best condition, but the color is hard to turn away from. The next special edition Switch Lite release was another Pokemon edition, the Dialga and Palkia edition. This console celebrates the release of the DS remakes Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And what's cool is that this is a callback to the special edition DS that features Dialga and Palkia. This console was released on November 5th of 2021, 2 weeks before the games were released. So once again, you need to buy them separately. This is one of the most unique versions of the Switch Lite so far. All of the handhelds have the same texture, but the Dialga and Palkia edition is shiny and has a glitter look that it just makes it pop. The console is gunmetal gray, Dialga and Palkia are on the back, and all buttons are black, which is also a first in Switch Lite systems. I didn't really care for the games, but this is my favorite special edition Switch Lite hands down. It's gorgeous. About 2 years later, Nintendo released two special edition Switch Lites, the Isabelle and Timmy and Tommy Aloha editions. The Isabelle version was exclusive to Target, and Timmy and Tommy version was made exclusive to Walmart, both released during the holiday season of 2023. Let's be honest here, okay? These are just the turquoise and coral colors, but with some Animal Crossing print. Not the most exciting special editions, but these both came with the digital version of Animal Crossing New Horizons and still retailed for $200. You don't receive an actual code for the game. Instead, you will need to claim the game from the eShop. So if you have the game digitally already, then you can't claim the game for that account. Damn it! This was a cool holiday bundle since you can get the console and a really good Nintendo exclusive game for a good deal. Let's get down to business and check out the newest variation of the Switch Lite. Of course, I'm talking about the Hyrule Edition released alongside The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom on September 26th of 2024. Unlike the other Switch Lite systems, this retails at $209 since it comes with a 1-year subscription to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. If you were to get the membership by itself, it would be about $50, so you're saving $40 when you get it with the Hyrule Edition. Since I still have the system in the box, I might as well open it up and see what's included with the Switch Lite. You really don't get much. You get some documentation and a charging cable, which is the same one you would get with any Switch console. The system itself is gold with a cool print on the back as well as a little Triforce on the front. What's interesting to me is that while this is releasing alongside Echoes of Wisdom, the Hyrule Edition isn't based on that game, just on The Legend of Zelda as a whole. And the fact that they're selling this with 1 year of the expansion pack membership, I feel like they are hoping to sell a good amount of these units so that they can finally break that PlayStation 2 record. Let's go ahead and just talk about some of the drawbacks to the Switch Lite. One of the biggest is that you are unable to play in TV mode. As a dedicated portable handheld device, I don't think it needed to connect to the TV. Would it have been a nice feature to include? Of course, but I think Nintendo wanted to put out a device that appeals to those who enjoy handheld gaming and for those who may want a secondary Switch at an affordable price. And then there's Joy-Con drift. And it's happened to my turquoise Switch. The left joystick started reading inputs when I wasn't even touching it. Now, I actually was able to fix this myself. Replacing the left joystick is relatively easy. Thankfully, I haven't had any issues with the right joystick since getting to that is difficult from what I've heard. I say the best solution for most people that experience Joy-Con drift on Switch Lites would be to send your system to Nintendo for them to repair. Just know you may need to pay for that service. service. And that's really all I can think about. I mean, yeah, you are missing out on the IR mode feature and Rumble, which is kind of weird that they didn't include. But in my opinion, I still think this is a great system. I do think it's a lot more comfortable when playing in handheld mode. And since the screen is smaller, the pixels are actually more condensed. So the picture looks a lot more sharper than the Switch or Switch OLED. And that D-pad is just hard to beat. I never want to touch those directional buttons again. Now, if you're still considering purchasing a Switch Lite in 2024, let's talk about the purchases you'll most likely be making. Of course, you gotta buy the system itself. Now, Switch Lites are still pretty common to see in retail stores, so you can definitely get one brand new, or if you don't mind buying them secondhand, then you can find good deals of the system and bundles that include some games and accessories on Facebook Marketplace or even OfferUp. Speaking of accessories, probably the most essential accessory you want to get is a screen protector. I don't care how good you think you are at being careful with technology, it's better to be safe than sorry. Next thing you want to pick up is a case. I mean, this is a dedicated handheld you're buying, so you want to keep it protected when you take it out into this cruel world. There are so many options out there. It's actually ridiculous. I have this Power A stealth case that has Pikachu and Mewtwo on it. It's a soft shell case with a felt lining inside with a built-in stand that holds 4 games. I also have the official Switch Lite case, probably the most minimalistic case I have. It's a white soft shell case with gray felt on the inside. It's got a mesh pocket and can hold 8 games. I actually use this one a lot, but it's easier to tell how dirty it gets. I actually like these Animal Crossing ones better, especially for my Aloha editions. Another official case I have is the flip cover. The only reason I have this is because it came with the gray Switch Lite when I bought it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have paid $40 for it. I mean, it's fine. It keeps the screen protected in a bag and you just flip the cover over for easy access, but it doesn't hold any games, and I just don't like this flipping around when I'm trying to kick Ken's stupid ass. Then we got another Power A case that not only offers more protection but a rubber handle. This case has a mesh pocket, holds 6 games and 2 micro SD cards. Now, if you want the cheapest option, go with the slim carrying case. This is officially licensed by Nintendo and is only $8 on Amazon. I bought 3 of these for 3 of my systems just to easily store them when I'm not using them. It's got a padded soft microfiber interior and comes with a game case that holds 4 games or 3 games and an even smaller case for 2 micro SD cards. And of course, you can use regular Switch cases. Alright, you don't have to use Switch Lite ones. Since we're on the topic of cases, let's check out the grip I have. While these do protect your Switch Lite in case you drop it, the main reason I got this was for additional comfort. If I'm playing a game that requires precise input, this grip comes in clutch. I went with the clear grip to still be able to see the back of the system, but you may want to go with a different grip as these may start to turn yellow. Ew. I also have joystick caps on some of my consoles for better control, or just because they look cool, alright? Micro SD cards are a necessity, especially when you're buying digital games and even downloading free-to-play games. The Switch Lite only has 32 gigabytes of internal storage, so going with at least 120 gigabytes will be a good start. The Switch Lite has a headphone jack, so you can use just about any wired headset you want, and with Bluetooth connectivity, you can use any wireless headset. Like I mentioned earlier, some games do require Joy-Cons to play, like Super Mario Party, Ring Fit Adventure, and 1-2 Switch, so you may need to get yourself a pair of Joy-Cons if you have any interest of playing those games. And if you would like to play games online or have access to Nintendo's retro library, then you would need to buy a Nintendo Switch Online membership. If you're just buying an online membership for yourself, I recommend just getting the basic one for $20 a year. But if you know people that also want to play online, then go ahead and start a family plan and get the expansion pack version. I mean, I'm personally in an expansion pack family membership and I only pay $10 a year. It's incredible. The games that were released alongside Switch Lites and ones I've already talked about are all pretty good, but I wanted to give more recommendations, so I just picked out 10 games I think are really good to play on a Switch Lite system, which are available physically and digitally. First game is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. This is one of the most underrated first-party games for the Switch in my opinion. This is a fun puzzle platformer that plays really well on the Switch Lite and actually utilizes the touchscreen when paralyzing baddies and smashing blocks. The simple concept of rescuing your toad companion and the level-based structure, this is a great pick up and play game. At number 2, I had to put a Pokemon game, which happens to be Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. This is a great game for those who want to play a mainline Pokemon game for the first time, as you catch and battle Pokemon in the region that started it all. Playing these games in handheld mode is actually my preferred method of playing, since not only does it remind me of the classic handheld Pokemon, but the catching mechanic of throwing the Pokeball is actually easier with using the thumbstick rather than being forced to swing a Joy-Con when playing docked. Plus, Mega Evolution is still a thing, easily the best Pokemon gimmick. You can fight me on that, alright? At number 3, we have a very recent title, and that's Emio the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club. I know a lot of people are not familiar with this series, and it may not be the most exciting game in terms of gameplay, but I wanted to recommend a fantastic visual novel. The story is there's been a recent murder of a middle school student that was found with a creepy bag over his head, so you have to find out who killed him by connecting the pieces of a past murder spree and the urban legend of Emio. It's a very interesting story that's perfect on the Switch Lite, since you can easily take the system with you and read during the small amount of free time you may have in your busy life. The game isn't very long, and if you do need a refresher on the story, you can review the plot every time you load up your save file. At number 4, we have Stardew Valley. I'll admit, it's been a few years since I played this, but I wanted to put a good farming sim, and this is probably the best one you can ever play. So many hours will be gone when you pick up this game, and you wouldn't even notice. And a huge reason I put so much time in Stardew Valley was because I was playing on my Switch Lite. You can farm, fish, dungeon crawl, ride a horse, get married. This game has it all. At number 5, I'm putting Metroid Dread. Now, while this game looks fantastic on a TV, it's just a good action adventure game that's hard to put down, so playing on a Switch Lite just makes sense. This is the 5th game of the 2D Metroid series, but you don't have to play the others to enjoy this amazing action platformer. Still one of the greatest games I've ever played. Number 6, I'm going with Pokken Tournament DX. This was originally released on the Wii U and brought over to the Switch in 2017. It's still one of the best fighting games I've ever played, which so happens to feature Pokemon. There's a story mode that has you fight in a series of tournaments and follow the mystery of a black Mewtwo. With the fights being pretty short, I believe this is another good pick up and play game to take with you on the go for the Switch Lite. For the 7th game, I'm going with Silent Hope. I was genuinely surprised with how much fun I had with this dungeon crawler. You get to play as 7 different characters, each with their own set of abilities and weapons, fight enemies on different levels of the abyss, and when you return, you're able to craft helpful items and weapons. Kind of an underrated game in my opinion, that is best enjoyed on the Switch Lite. At number 8, I had to put a Persona game, and the one I ultimately chose was Persona 4 Golden. This already has history of being one of the best games of all time on a handheld device, so this only makes sense to be amazing on the dedicated handheld Switch. It's a dungeon crawler, it's a turn-based RPG, it's a life sim, it's a visual novel. This game is just about everything, and it does it all so well. I'm not gonna lie, this may be a little hard to find as a physical copy, but I've seen Persona 4 Golden go on sale for pretty cheap on the eShop, so I highly recommend you make this the Persona game to play on a Switch Lite. At number 9, I'm going with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Not only is this my all-time favorite Kirby game, but it's also one of the best 3D platforming games ever made. There's so much to do in this game beyond the levels, like the mini games, collecting all the figures, and the additional challenges. It's one of the best games on Switch to play at home or on the go. And finally, at number 10, I have to go with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Like, this is another game that's probably best to play on a TV and docked, but the game is so goddamn good. you just need it on you at all times. Breath of the Wild is also really good, but I just really like being able to create vehicles and exploring the depths and the sky islands, which is why I just prefer Tears of the Kingdom more. It's a pretty long game, even if you're focused on the story itself, so being able to play anytime and anywhere may make it easier for people to play one of the best open world games ever created. It's really hard to recommend anyone to buy a Switch Lite at this time, since we're on the verge of learning about Nintendo's newest console. And while this system is the cheapest model, the Switch and Switch OLED allows you to play on your TV, just overall better for couch co-op. But if you're a busybody that just doesn't have a lot of free time and are more interested in the single player experience, the Switch Lite is still a great purchase at only $200. With 10 different colors and themes to choose from, the Switch Lite may still have a place in your life. I refuse to listen to your concerns about me having all 10 Switch Lite systems in my possession. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think of the Switch Lite down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and of course, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. I have no idea what to play next.